but does take some time to adjust. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran, we have the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss. We have the South Korean Protoss. It is a Creator. Go. So we are moving out. We are setting up. And welcome to Title Citadel. Citadel is a bit of a more defensive map in the map pool. We have our natural expansion, we have our third base, and we have our fourth base as well, which are all relatively easy to defend. I say relatively easy. There is an entrance here that's a little bit wider towards the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, there are two entrances into the triangular third, but for the most part, you can relatively easily rotate between them. There is no attack path in between. There is one, but it is closed off by these rocks. It is a little bit more accessible. You can knock them down, you can gain access as the aggressing player, but I'm getting ahead of myself because Creator is opening up 2 gate. Oh boy, so 2 gate open out to Creator. Creator, he's hoping for a more greedy build. Unfortunately, double gas opener out of Clem. So Clem is going for a faster factory. He's going for a delayed CC, which means he's going for a safer build here. Faster factory, faster Hellion, faster production. Oh, here comes the Zealot. Now, the goal of this build, for those that are maybe a little bit unfamiliar with 2 gate openers, the goal is you make a Zealot here from back at home. It's going to walk across the map. You proxy the Stalker, and you can make an Adept back at home as well to shade across the map to reinforce that much faster. And the goal is typically to force a cancel on the CC. Now, because of the double gas opener, it does mean it's going to be a bit of a later command center. But if Clem still gets that CC on the low ground, it can still be denied. It can still be cancelled. Creator can still get some damage done. If Clem plays it safe and goes to CC for on the high ground instead, different story. Once again, there's no SCV scout, so Clem, he has no idea that there is something missing, that something is amiss. The first Reaper does move out across the map, and Clem, he doesn't scout for a proxy. Does find the Zealot though. Yeah, it does find the Zealots. Ooh, does take some extra swipes. Extra hits. Creator hiding in the tall grass. Let's go. Does move out. Stuck in the tall grass here. Going for the high ground, but so far Clem is keeping up. Stalker has arrived and CC on the high ground because of the scouts, right? Clem, he saw the Zealot. CC on the high ground, there's going to be no cancel. Reaper does not get away as there's no cliff face here into the main base towards the top side. It was here towards the south side instead. Players have to get used to it. Where are those Reaper cliffs? And Creator is pushing in. Cyclone is on the way. Cyclone zones away the Stalkers. Ooh, getting a lot of damage. CC will be delayed. Not bad. Delays the command center. Supply blocks Clem. Supply block, nice sniper on the Stalker. Second Cyclone's on the way, Clem holds. So Clem, he does defend, and as we mentioned, it would have been disastrous if Clem had the CC on the low ground instead. The bunker would have been a non-factor, the high ground would have been a non-factor, and Creator could have gotten more damage done, but because the scout of the Zealot, it screamed 2 gates, and Clem played it safe. Did play it safe. With that Creator, he does not get the damage he was hoping for. He does get an SCV, right? He got the depot, he got the building SCV. He did delay the CC a little bit, and he forced the high ground CC as well, so he has to float over. So that there is like a little bit of damage being dealt here, but not the damage that the Creator was hoping for. Was hoping for more. As Creator throws down 2 extra gateways, we have our 3 gate blink setup, so standard follower. We have our standard follow-up. Quick Banshee's on the way. Chat, do we have any SC Evo tournaments on the horizon? For StarCraft Evolution, I believe their events are on a hiatus because of the PTR that they released and because of the new patch in the base game, right? We just had a new patch, so they still have a lot of work to do when it comes to balancing the game around like the latest patch, right? Around Storm, around the new Disruptor. A lot of changes have been made in StarCraft, so because of that, they're still working on said changes, on said balancing. Likewise, for those of you that were watching the stream yesterday, you'll know that we do have a bunny cam. True. We now have bunny cam, but it is not quite set up for the Cranky Ducklings stream yet. I was streaming over my personal channel with Ducklings cam. I might do that later on tonight as well. For the Cranky Ducklings stream, I should be able to set that up for tomorrow. Should be able to. So the Banshee gets shut down. Ooh, Cloak too late. I mean, there was no reserve, I should say. So Cloak ineffective. And nice defense out of Creator. Again, just very safe play, opening up 3 gates, followed by a delayed or later third. That was the third base after the Robo, after the gas. And Creator is building up into the mid game, getting into a gateway heavy composition. Stalker into charge. And Clem, after taking some early game damage, does he plan on just sending it here on 2 bases? Oh, so let's say the Banshee. I mean, that was a big investment into the first Banshee, and so far, Clem, it didn't pay for itself. Back at home, we're waiting to see extra axes or a third CC. Does Clem expand? Does he commit? Currently, he's on 2 tanks, and he's still waiting for his upgrades. He's still waiting for stim, combat shields. Waiting for everything to kick in. Creator setting up for a backstab, setting up for the War Prism. A Bay is on the way. The longer this goes on, I mean, Creator is working towards Colossus. And we have the answer, third CC. So Clem is expanding, he's getting into the mid game. Third CC is on the way. He's building up. Likewise, they'll jump into the main. Getting a Cyclone, not bad. Gets a Cyclone, no local, another War Prism, another Warpin will complete. Oh, but so far, I mean, Clemmy does win the head-on fight. Yeah, he defends. That defends. Stalkers get forced back. That was 3 Stalkers going down. Some expensive losses there for Creator. And remember, Clem, he isn't missing a timing or anything because he's expanding. And a really interesting is, yeah, we have the scan. Creator, he expands towards the top side instead. Okay, I was not really taking this into consideration, but does go for the northern expansion. Meanwhile, Clem does move out. Same time, Creator, he backstabs. Oh, we'll lose a Stalker. One Stalker goes down, Colossus in position, we have force fields as well. Creator spots the army. It's 1 Colossus so far. He's checking for the 4th base. He will find it. And he won't be able to stop it. So far, so good. Creator, the plus side, of course, of expanding towards his opponent here is that these bases towards the left-hand side are going to be a little bit safer to take later on as a 5th. Likewise, this linear 4th base, I mean, it's looking pretty well defended. Again, it's alongside the bases here as well. You would be spread a lot more thin if you took the left-hand base instead. So a really nice setup here from Creator. Getting ready for a Zealot run by. Stalkers once again moving in. And Clem is getting a 4th CC. Okay. It's getting into a longer game. And Creator is gaining map control. It's gaining map control. As I said, Lynn, a big shout out. Oh, a big shout out to Ryu in the chat. Papi, gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much. Anda mi mid, papi, anda mi mid. Thank you so much here for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Bienvenidos. Oh. As Creator Zealot Run by is activated. Distracting on the left hand side. Takes down the Widow Mines. Nice snipes out of Creator. Widow Mines go down. Viking goes down as well. Zealots, they do hit the middle line, but there's a tank in position. The first tank does go down, does not get the second tank. Second tank survives. Mineral line is left, for the most part, untouched. Safe and sound. Ooh, bold move there by Creators, trying to find a way in. Taking a lot of hits. One Colossus goes down. Okay, bleeds out a lot of Stalkers as well. Rough Link. But the Zealot Runby does get in. That's going to be 12 SCV kills, not bad. Where are the Vikings? Yeah, Marines are exposed. A lot of Marines going down. Clem getting caught out. Vikings now moving in. There's not that many Stalkers. Yeah, there's not many Stalkers. Colossus wastes the DPS on the CC. And a rough fight here for Creator, but he's still breaking through the Bio Army. And the economic damage. Yeah, Zealots, they rally in. They catch reinforcements, more SCVs going down, and GG gets called. GG gets called. Clem is broken, and Creator, he does take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Clem having a really hard time splitting up his army, winding it back, especially in that final fight. You saw that Clem, he was responding with Vikings and Banshees towards the harassment, whereas he needed them against Colossus. A lot of bio was going down, and Clem did lose a lot of momentum when it came to his failed push across the map. A lot of it, I feel like, came down to the fact that he didn't see the 4th. Remember, he scanned the traditional 4th location, which I assumed would be taken as well. He scanned towards the bottom left when Creator was taking top right, and he was able to get his 4th base uncontested. Clem, he moved out, he pushed, but because he didn't know where the base was, he wasn't applying any pressure towards that 4th. He wasn't looking to punish it. He didn't know it was there until later. Remember, he scouted, he confirmed the 4th base when he was retreating, when he was pulling away from the 3rd, right? When by the time Creator had already deflected the army, and then Clem had to kind of admit his fate. He had to just turtle up and work towards a 4th base, and did lose map control. GG. GG, well played. And again, I was caught off guard as well by Creator's 4th location. Definitely something that, again, is a bit of a learning curve when it comes to these new maps, is confirming the 4th base, confirming it, punishing it, of course. And now we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the French Terran player. We have the French Terran himself. We have the Red Terran. Oh, sorry, I have to fix the out of game score. We have the Red Terran down in the series representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is a Creator. Go. But again, Clem, he was unable to slow down the economy, to deny or delay expansions, and do anything to the mineral line. Creator was left untouched, and we'll see if that trend continues. Now, what I will say coming into the Old Republic is that the 4th base is a lot more vulnerable here. So first things first, we have our natural, we have our 3rd location as well. Your 3 base setup here is pretty easily secured. We have the high ground, we have the points of elevation here to protect these expansions. We have 2 entrances into the 3rd base as well, but they're relatively narrow. Your army should be in position at the 3rd regardless, and from here we work towards the 4th expansion. Now, the 4th base, we have 2 options. We have the low ground 4th expansion, which is a little more exposed, a lot of angles of attack, and of course it's on the low ground. We also have the base on the right hand side, which is further away from the 3rd. Longer rush distance here, it is further out. Likewise, very wide entrances here on the right hand side as well. I would say that these bases are a little more accessible compared to the 4th bases on Taito Citadel on the map that we just featured. So it is more difficult to maintain a fourth. Goes both ways, depending on who's going to be the aggressor. We'll see. For now, economic. So economic starts by Clem. Faster command center, at least initially. As he's checking for a 2-gate setup. Makes sense. After the last game. Does check, does confirm. As it does get into the main base, does get a scout, a very important scout actually. That is a second Rax. As Clem, he's either setting up for a 2-1-1 or I was going to say for a 3-Rax. With the factory, it should be a 2-1-1. So 2-1-1 setup here out of Clem. Hyper aggression here, working towards an earlier stim timing. And of course, Creator does confirm. Now, this build is a rare sight. 2-1-1s not seen too often, but we do still see them nonetheless. And again, this is something seen a little more against Zerg. Now, there's some pros, there's some cons. This is going to be a stim timing. We should be seeing an earlier tech lab here on the Rax. We should be. Hold on. We keep the tech lab on the factory. Okay. So I was going to say that the downside, the weakness of this build is that you get early stim, you get early bio, but you lack tanks. Like, you typically have 0 tanks with this build because the add-on swap. Clem got scouted, and Clem, he keeps the tech lab on the factory. Okay. Which means I believe the goal here should be to go for an earlier push. If Creator believes that it's going to be a later timing, a later stim timing, then he may just misread this and he may just get caught off guard. This is looking like a 2-base all-in. Yeah, 2-base all-in. So no add-on swap, no upgrades, purely tank production. You can pull the boys with this. We have our Vanilla Marine setup. And Creator, I mean, Blink is still not yet done. He's going for the Bay. Does have a safety shield battery, but he has to engage ahead of time. He's moving out. Ooh, gets a Cyclone. Nice pickup. So let's get the Cyclone. Gets a Marine. Oh, that's 2. Rotating over towards the 3rd. Here, trying to engage. Blink is now done. Getting extra stalkers. And it feels like Clem is missing his window. Oh, does siege. Ideally, Clem wants to try to catch out those stalkers. He's trying. Colossus are on the way. Clem behind this is now taking up. We have the eBay. Now we have the add-on swap, but it looks like Clem has recognized he cannot break his opponent. Not anymore. Nice tank shots. Waits him in. Clem backs off. Clem, he backs off. He pulls away. We have a game. Do you have a game here? Now, Creator, his 3rd base is delayed because of the aggression, because of the pressure of Clem. At the same time, what's important is that Clem, sure, he didn't break his opponent, but he did preserve the tanks, right? The tanks have been building up over time. He's got his 4 tanks. He did retain them, didn't lose them. as Creator makes his way into the main. Denies combat shields. I'm sure he was hoping for stim, but a nice pickup nonetheless. Meanwhile, we do see Clem coming in from behind. Uh-oh. There's recall. Yeah, does blink, does recall, and does get away in time. Whew. Creator pulls out. Again, Clem is securing himself, establishing his own third. Meanwhile, Creator taking his fourth. Now, as the game slows down and as we build up into the mid game, this is where I do lean towards Creator here, as the Protoss player is going to be much more favored as they do gain map control. I was talking about earlier how he exposed the fourth bases. That is true, but the 3-base setup here is pretty solid. So Creator, he shouldn't really be able to find a way into the bases yet. Speaking of, running into tanks. Something that I do like as well that we have been seeing, if you didn't notice already, like, we've rarely seen Storm in TvP, and once again, we're not seeing Storm here either. It is very meta currently, and it's still early in the patch, but it's very meta to go Colossus. Very meta to just go Colossus first, and Colossus into Disruptor. And as a result, we do see a faster second starport and mass Viking production. No ghosts. No Ghost Academy, no Ghosts. If you recall at the start of this broadcast, I spoke about this matchup. I spoke about how players have been struggling, players specifically that have been rushing Ghosts because they've been so just accustomed to that, especially in the previous patch, in the previous meta. But here we have been delaying the Ghost Academy instead, for good reason. As you do need those extra Vikings. That is how we assumed that the matchup would evolve, if you recall. We did theorize that faster second starports and delayed Ghost Academies were going to be the norm coming into the new patch. And we're getting there. This Creator is still looking for a way in. Taking another expansion. Creator is going Colossus not into Disruptor, Colossus into Storm. Problem here is that now we have the Ghost on the way. What will be the answer to that? And we'll see if Clem can establish his fourth. Going for the low ground expansion. I mean, the tanks on the high ground will help defend. Army is moving in. The other interesting thing here is that Clem, he actually expands as he maxes out. So he's not going for an earlier fourth base, he'll max out first. So playing very carefully. Understanding just how difficult it is to take that fourth. So he's maxed out first. Disruptor production has begun. Second Robo's on the way. Stargate's on the way as well for eventually Skytoss. I will say that the second Robo is late. So the late second Robo. By now we could even be working towards a third Robo. Oh. Storm does zone. Plus taking a lot of hits. Much better Storm towards the end. Catching out a good amount of Marines. Oh, nice Nova as well. The Creator. Nova connects. But Clem does push in. It gets Colossus, gets Disruptor as well. The army is split. Creator, he's out of position. Yeah, completely out of position. Oof. Decent Storm. The army's very low HP. Colossus go down. It's a lot of Vikings. And a very messy fight here. Clem takes down the Colossus. He barely takes down all the Zealots. Clem maintaining this position. And Creator, he's switching into Sky Toss. Oh, too soon. Yeah, too soon. Double Stargates. Fleet Beacons on the way as well. We need Warpins. He needs Warpins, and he has how many gates? 10. Oh, only 10. Warping in 10 Zealots at a time. Creator, he has a bank. And Clemmy does it. Yeah, Clemmy's raking through. There's no splash damage, there's no storm, no Colossus. The one Colossus just now pops out, no Disruptor either. And with that, Clemmy overwhelms. Breaks through the Colossus. Nice CMP on the Immortals. And GG gets called. Clemmy breaks through, and Clem ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Creator, he was in a decent position, not gonna lie, but he was a little bit too greedy. He was a little bit too greedy there. We did see the Creator, he was too greedy. He was taking up into Sky Toss when really what did he need? Extra gateways. He only had 10. Only 10 gateways. So after the fight, he couldn't remax. He couldn't remax, he couldn't rebuild. He was trying, but alas, again, with limited gateways, he could only warp in 10 Zealots at a time. Not enough to defend. GG. GG, well played. Creator just getting a little bit too excited and thinking a little bit too far ahead. Just thinking too far ahead. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3, loading into 10,000 feet. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the French Terran player. We have the French Terran, we have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss, the blue Protoss himself from South Korea. It is a Creator. As we are going to be opening up this time, okay, for the first time, double gas open out of Clem, and it does make sense considering the map. Welcome one and all to 10,000 feet. Up until this point, we have been featuring mainly larger maps like Taito Citadel and like the Old Republic as well. I'm just blanking on the name, but the last two maps that we did just feature in this series so far have been very large, a little more macro oriented. Because of that, we have been seeing 3rd and 4th bases. Here, welcome to 10,000 feet. This is one of the few rush maps in the map pool. A shorter rush distance by ground. We do have some massive tumors in the center that expire over time. We have the triangular 3rd base here that you can rush into earlier if you can mine through these mineral patches for a decently secure 3-base setup. The 4th base is more exposed, is more out in the open. Very exposed 4th base on the left hand side. We have the center 4th base, which can be hit from the other side of the ravine, and we have the base on the right hand side, which is also very open as well. So this map does favor aggression. It does want you to be more active on the map as well, and Clem does embrace that with the faster factory. And we should be seeing very safe play out of Creator. 3-gate blink, potentially even 4-gate blink. Likewise, we should be seeing a robo on 2 bases, extra gases, and a later 3rd. See sound in the chat. Nobody's out. Oh, no. Yeah, no bunny cam for this cast, unfortunately. No bunny cam. Ooh, Stargate? That is a bold move. Stargate open out a Creator. Bearing in mind, this is typically for greedier builds. Going for a Stargate does mean early Phoenix production, and that does give you map control. It allows you to shut down drops, specifically. But against an all-in, this is less effective. Assuming the Clem all-ins. It's possible he doesn't. Clem, he's going for a CC on the high ground. We do have the 1-1-1 on the way. Clem has been playing very macro-oriented so far this series, but a lot of it has to do with the maps. A lot of it related to the maps. Two more gates on the way, so we have a 3-gate follow-up here. Going for an Oracle, not a Phoenix. Okay, interesting. Does go Oracle first. Into Phoenix. Drop is moving out. Does boost in. Creator, he will miss the drop. Just barely. Oh, does spot it. There we go, does spot it. And the Widow Mine is going to be zoned away. It does reposition. Mine shot. Oh! Oh my god. Widow Mine does get sniped. Nice defense here by Creator. And he holds. Creator, he does hold, he does defend. You see Clem really move out. Once he sees it's a Stargate opener, he knows. He's like, I can abuse this. I can punish. And he's going for it. Saves the medevac, saves a handful of Marines, whatever he can. Ooh, Oracle goes down. The Oracle got no value outside of the Revelation. Nice 3 shots with the Vikings. Tank has arrived as well. And he's waiting for reinforcements. Phoenix is ideally trying to catch him. But Clem, you already got across the map. Phoenix is there out of position. They were able to defend. And Clem is going for the third. And there's no saving this third base. Yeah, there's a cancellation. Clem, you just keep pushing. Oh. Tank's getting in position. 3 Phoenixes in total. And looking for the lift. Oh. Yeah, nice shot with the medevac. Another Phoenix goes down. And Clem pulls away. Then he barely does pull away. Final Phoenix will fall. But he just doesn't have the support. So yeah, tanks are going down. Nice PiGosaur here by Creator. Gets one of the tanks. Vikings A land. Can he get the Immortal? Up. Can he get it? The Immortal barely goes down. Not bad. Yeah, very chaotic. Very chaotic fight here. Creator, he will clean up. Cleans up the tanks. And I would say that was a better fight for Creator. On the one hand, though, he did lose his third, right? The third base did go down. So economically, Clem is ahead. Clem, he has a greater economy. And Creator, he's down to... Oh, he's rebuilding his Phoenixes. Does rebuild. Oh, Twilight Council was late. Forge is late as well. All the tech was delayed. Which means there's a bigger window here available for Clem. But he expands. He gets a third. No shot, he's committing. Yeah, does commit. The boys are being pulled. Does go for the lift. And there's a bold move here from Creator. He does get one of the tanks. Tank goes down. Gets a Marine, tries to deny some mining. Yeah, but Clem holds. Clem, he does hold on. Not too certain if that was really worth of a Creator. He did get a tank, true. Did get one tank. And now he can feel safer getting his third base. Working towards Storm. For the first time this series, going Storm first, not Colossus. really nice tank positionings here as well. He has the high ground. I was gonna say that there isn't really an ideal fourth option, but we're expanding forward here towards Clem. Bold move. A very exposed expansion. As creator, he hopes not to expand at the triangular third. And again, you can set up tanks on the other side to just deny mining at the mineral line. You just shell away at the probes from the other side. And Clem still has that one tank. Creator's moving out. Creator, he actually never got into Storm. He did get the Temple Archives, but only for Archons. He's actually quite committed here. The lack of splash damage means that he will not scale too well into a longer game. And he's just gonna send it. Okay, let's go. He commits. Yeah, he commits in. Boys are being pulled. Yeah, attempts to surround. Zelts get on top of the tank. One tank is gonna go down. Mind shot doesn't quite connect. And Clem, you will hold. Yeah, he will hold on. Cleans up all the Zealots, gets all the main army. It'll cost him 19 SCVs. That's a lot of workers going down. And Storm only just now begins. Oh, also they're trading well. Getting very nicely. Storm has begun. Now, Creator does cripple the economy. True, he cripples the economy. Clem, he will lose so many workers down to 48. Down 20 SCVs. And stuck at home. So I will say that was actually a decent fight here for Creator, considering what he traded, right? He traded out mainly Zealots. Zealots did lose his Phoenixes, did lose his Archons. That was a little bit brutal. And Clem is opting to defend, to turtle up. He's defending on 3 bases, getting a 4th CC as well. Yo, Clem has been watching. Has he been watching Beyond? Let's go. Creator getting a 5th. Hoping he mines through those patches soon. Yeah, I assumed that Clem would be committing on 3 bases, but no. He's slowly expanding, getting a 4th. Macroing back up. Storm is ready. First Storm does run away. Creator does peel off, does get into some of the mineral lines. Catching a couple of SCVs. And so far the Storms have been a little bit lackluster. They do zone away. And we're getting on top of the planetary. Running out of storms over here. Running out of storms. Templar going down brutally in P's. And so far just a better fight here from Clem. He mainly avoided the storms. He holds. And Clem, he holds on. He defends. We see Creator trying to work towards disruptors. He's getting there. Disruptors are on the way. I'm building up more ghosts. There are only 2 Templar. And this is just a really awkward army for Creator, not having Colossus. There's just no consistent splash damage here for the Protoss. And Disruptors, of course, they can be very hit and miss. We'll see. This Creator's going to be heavily reliant on these Novas connecting. Creator, he's max. Going for the mineral line. He still only has 3 Disruptors. Then we can just move in. Oh, Nova connects. Nova does crazy army. And we're entering a game state that I actually haven't seen yet on 10,000 feet. We're getting to a split map scenario. We're cutting the map in half. We're maxing out. The Creator is working towards Sky Toss again. We saw this attempted earlier on the Old Republic. He's up to 6 Disruptors. And we'll see how the armies engage. As Creator's working towards Sky Toss, Clem is working towards Mass Liberator. That's going to be his end goal, his end game. Going into Sky Terran with Liberators and then Vikings. Creator, he only has the 1 Stargate, so just the Mothership. Not going for a Tempest. And this may hurt him in the long run. We did kind of criticize Creator for rushing into Tempest or trying to get into Tempest too quickly on the Old Republic. Here now would be the time. Just because Clem is turtling up so hard, right? He's turtling up so hard, now's the time to tech up. Otherwise, Clem, he will have the better army. Again, like, what's the answer to Mass Liberator? How many do we have? 7. 7 Liberators. Liberations moving in. There are 5 Stalkers. There's 5 Stalkers, Pat. There's more Liberators than there are Stalkers. And just now warping in. We got nukes on the way. And Clem, he can bully his way forward. Oh. Goes up. No range connections. Yeah, both Novas do with. Yeah, no connections here. That's 3 Novas going up. There's only 5 Disruptors. So we have a low Disruptor count. Creator, he has mainly a Zealot-based army. Liberation setting up. Diving on the main army, and Creator gets caught out. Yeah, massive catch here. Mothership goes down, most of the army as well. Creator plummets in supply. Does pull off a Zealot run by. This is where his attention was, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, Clem breaks through. Clem breaks through, and as you mentioned, there's no answer. There's no answer to the Mass Lib. Oof. Prism goes down. Clem pushing in. You have a Stalker army behind the forces of Clem. Colossus does fall. Brings out the Colossus. Zelzek coming from behind. Stalkers as well. Vikings are helping. But GG. Yeah, GG gets called. There's just too much Terran. And Clem, he outpositions Creator. And Clem takes the lead in the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, just a really unfortunate setup from Creator. He did not have the army he needed. He was stuck on a very Zealot heavy composition. He had no Colossus. If you recall, we had Colossus towards the end though, like after he had already lost his main army. He had a mothership, but he had no setup for Skytos, for Tempest, and it was just outscaled. Clem was able to embrace his Liberators, and Creator just was not ready for that. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem takes a lead, and now we're getting into game number 4. Going to be loading into Andromeda. Here we go. But yeah, just a really awkward setup there for Creator. I don't think he really expected or mentally he was ready to go into the later game. Unlike on the Old Republic. So we had later tech. Later setup, and here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Andromeda, we have the French Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. Leading the series 2-1, it is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself. It is Creator. From South Korea. Let's go. But as you mentioned, like as soon as Clem didn't just get a 4th base, but as soon as he threw down sensor towers on 4 bases, and then on 5 bases, as he had 5 base setups towards the end, working towards a 6th even, Creator, he did need to tech up and get ready for Skytos. Once you go into Mass Liberator, you dominate the ground and you have to take flight. Typically, that's when the Protoss player switches into Skytos. I say typically because technically you can still play against Liberator heavy compositions with Mass Stalker, but you need a lot, right? You need a lot of Stalkers, you need a very mobile army to be able to outposition, to go in, to snipe like 1, 2, 3 Liberators at a time. Didn't really have that, and unfortunately he had no, again, consistent splash damage. Took a long time to get into Colossus. We had Colossus at the very end of the game, and the Novas are not good enough, right? So the Purification Novas, they were not good enough, they were not connecting. Now we're getting into game number 4. Welcome once again to Andromeda. We spoke about this map during the Clem and Rebellion series, how aggression is heavily favored on this map. We saw that Clem, we were assuming like 3 base aggression, but Clem, he moved out on 2 bases, went for a very early push and broke Rebellion. We'll see if Clem does something similar here. For now, double gas, fast factory. Going for a more tech heavy start. Let's go. Let me picks in. Twilight Council opener out of Creator. I'm bringing that up just because last game we did have a Stargate, which was crazy. It was a Stargate opener. Behind this, we are going for the earlier medevac, going for what looks to be the setup for a Marine Cyclone drop. Okay, no Widowlands this time. Cyclones have a lot of potential, especially in the early game. The first Cyclone has arrived. Going straight into tanks from here. So Clem, he's going to be more aggressive, more assertive. Here comes a move out. He has 8 Marines, a Reaper, a Cyclone, the Medevac. And we're waiting for the first tank. Oof. And again, this is very similar to what we saw against Rebellion. So insanely early push. Creator, he does not see this ahead of time. He does not slow this down. He's now fanning out his army. And Creator, he just outspots this. And he's out of position. He's racing back home. He's on low ground. Stalker's getting caught out. Yeah, out of range of the shield battery. And Clem, he does wedge himself in between the bases here. Brutal position for Creator. Ay, ay, ay. Nice control. Cyclone does not go down. Getting within range of the gateway, catching out more Stalkers. 1, 2, 3 Stalkers going down, and that is just too many losses here for Creator. Ay, ay, ay. We'll lose the gateway, down to 2. Cyclone finally falls. And Clem is just rallying. He's just rallying everything across the map. He does pull a couple of boys. He knows how close he is to killing Creator. And again, this is all we've seen on Andromeda. Like just hyper aggression. The boys are being pulled. Dies on the tank. Does get it. Tank goes down, but we have more. There's more tanks where that came from, Pappy. The Vikings land and Clem is just snowballing out of control. Change the natural, takes down the shield batteries, roving through the immortals on the way. He needs more time. He's gonna lose everything in the process. Once again, dives on the tank, but at the cost of so many Stalkers. And Creator, he may barely hold on here with his control. He's microing his heart out. Ah, never mind. Jesus. Some more scores to falling. 18 probe kills. And Clem's still not stopping, by the way. He's not backing up. And he does refuse to back up. Oof. Catches another Stalker. This time the tank will knock her down. And he's done it. GG gets called. Clem, he breaks the natural, and Clem, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Clem. He will claim the series, and a very intense, very back and forth series here between himself and Creator. This last game was more one-sided, that is true. Unfortunately, Creator, he failed to scout the move out. He was unable to gauge ahead of time, and unfortunately, just as the armor was coming, just as he missed it, he happened to fan out his units. And what did that mean? That meant that he lost 4 Stalkers. He had, sorry, I should say 3. 3 Stalkers, they were stuck on the low ground because he was scouting, and we saw he was just caught out of position. Those 3 Stalkers went down real fast and real quick. Doesn't sound like a lot, but what do those Stalkers mean? Extra DPS, the extra ability to actually get on top of the Cyclone, get on top of the first tank. We could have seen the defense there if those 3 Stalkers were kept alive. But again, was out of position. They went down almost for free, and Clem just snowballed from there. It was also really unfortunate that the Creator, he wasn't able to engage ahead of time, didn't see the move out until it was already in his face. And that also leads to the map, leads to the short rushes and spike ground. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Clem, he will claim the series, and with that we have our grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between Clem and Solar. Here we go. It is going to be that TVZ. Yo, meanwhile, a shout to Enki, papi, Enki, gracias, papi, gracias. Thanks so much for subscribing. Thank you so much. Enki. Gracias, papi, gracias. But we are going to be going on a short break. Here as we get ready for the grand finals. Grand finales, papi. Best of 5. I do appreciate that we get to experience some TVZ here as well. Solar, he was able to work his way through the other side of the brackets. Going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we will have the finals between Clem and Solar. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the short break. See you soon.